Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Game Hub. I'm your host, Gamer K. We are finally in March 2026, 3 months into the new year, and now it's time for my own brand of March Madness. And also, I have to point out my beautiful new J. Scott Campbell Marvel ensemble art piece that I got last week at one of my local comic shops. $12 for this amazing piece. Sadly, it doesn't have anything to do with what I'm talking about today, but these two on the sides do. Oh my lord, I am a lover of great video games, and Batman has definitely had pretty good ones, and I am finally going to dive into the creepy, the crazy, the psychotic, or sometimes the just greedy minds of the Arkham universe's villains. That's right. The Arkham series, again, one of my favorite game series in general, and the Arkham series definitely gives Batman some of his best iterations for characters in video games. Now, a couple rules. I am ranking these based on my overall enjoyment of the characters, their design, their genuine aesthetic. What else? Covering all their overall design, their role in the story, how well they are in the game itself, because some of them are in the side missions, some of them are in the main story, many of them are the main threat. And the designs kind of change a lot throughout the series, the Arkham series. Now, I'm not counting Blackgate because we don't get a lot for that. Also, for some reason, they have Solomon Grundy be a boss fight in that game, which I don't really understand. Also, okay, with the exception of one entry on this list, I won't be counting Arkham Shadows because I didn't play it. I don't have a VR system. I did watch all of it, so I do know the overall story of it, and it is actually really, really, really good. I'm not going to lie. Putting another twist to Batman lore and gives us something that I'm surprised a lot, like they didn't tackle in the Arkham Origins game with Bruce's personal story. And also, Troy Baker, you really love being twist villains, don't you, Troy? Love you nonetheless, but I'm just going to say, you do have kind of a thing for that. Let's see what else. Starting off this list, from Arkham Origins, Bird. I want my bird. Yeah, I had to put in that joke somehow, and it worked. So, no real anything of this. Just after a certain point in the game, Bane's lieutenant, we fight him in the My Alibi bar with a bunch of goons. That's it. And then after we beat him, he gives a speech of how Bane will break us, which, to be fair, Bane has broken us a good little bit in each game, kind of. He deserves to be on the bottom of the list. He's a fourth-rate villain. Not a lot of the story for a side mission. Doesn't do anything really interesting. Just there, bunch of brutes, beat them up, simple. The Arkham series did a great job of giving Jack Ryder a pretty good character through the game, from being heard in Arkham Asylum, being a full character in Arkham City, to being a character in Arkham Knight, not so much in Arkham Origins, which is very surprising. But we do get Vicky Vale a little bit in the beginning, I believe. Yeah. No, we don't. But Arkham Knight, you did a whole thing on him being hunted by Deadshot. He even did a riddle in him in Simon Stagg's airship of that. But you didn't think to bring Deadshot back after that abysmal boss in City, and then that pretty good one in Origins. But you bring out a character that's not been in the Arkham series yet, give him a one-off near the end where he's sacrificing Jack Ryder in the middle of the city at that statue, and all we gotta do is fight his cult members, hit the electrocute to disarm your barrier and take him down. Okay, all that, I didn't even say his name. Deacon Blackfire. He's that goddamn unmemorable. Such a low-end villain that gets involved with a character that was actually pretty enjoyable. I mean, Jack's a bit of a jerk, a jackass. But, again, you could have given us something so much more with Jack. I mean, we talk to him once in a while in the GCPD, and then he talks about stuff that he's investigating, but at the same time, then later he's gone, and then we find out we gotta save him. Deacon Blackfire, you know what? I can't speak more on this guy. Just, if the song Take Me to Church is about anything, not this guy. If you are a Spider-Man or Batman fan, and you are kind of entering into, if your kids are entering into the world of Batman and Spider-Man or any comic character, and if they are introduced to a CEO of a big company, come here. I'm just gonna come closer. They're most likely evil. There is very little any instance when a character who's the CEO of a company who claims clean energy or claims to be for the people is definitely not. And here's 3 fucking examples of that throughout the series, throughout what I just said. And one of these is at the bottom of the list. Simon Stagg from Arkham Knight. Like, Bats. Why is it when he said that why is it when he said that he doesn't know why Scarecrow wants, or the Arkham Knight wants him, and you believed him immediately? Did you learn nothing from, Penelope Young? Ferris Boyle from Cold Cold Heart? Yeah, Simon Stagg is basically the guy who created the cloudburst energy and was working for Scarecrow, didn't want to continue the work. And he's been used a lot in the other DC shows. Like, I'm pretty sure he was used in season 1 of Arrow, where it was Gorilla Grodd or something like that. Yeah, Simon Stagg. But yeah, and he's just a little wimp, and I love how the only good thing we get from him is when he's locked up with the other villains, and that whole thing, after you talk to them, Joker will make a comment about them. When is this delusional nutcase gonna realize that money doesn't give him the right to break the law? Isn't he, Stagg? Obviously, talking about Bruce, which hits. Yeah, that's the only thing that Stagg even gives to this game, other than, progressing the story a little bit and having to return to his airship. That's another big thing about games. When you got to return to a previous area with new gadgets and upgrades, I do love that cliche. Mark the date, ladies and gentlemen, because this is 3 times this fucker has been somewhat in a game, but does absolutely nothing. Calendar Man, Julian Day. He's released from the first in Arkham Origins. He's an Easter egg and a riddle in City, and then after you talk with him and get his trophy, he escapes. And Arkham Knight, he's there at the end of Bruce Wayne's destroying Manor. He was supposed to do something all big for Halloween, but Scarecrow upstaged him, and we don't see him. Seriously, how do we not get him involved in any side missions? Although I will admit, his design is fucking creepy, having the months of the year tattooed around his head, and all the creepy ways he killed to match certain holidays. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I never heard of Calendar Man until the riddle for Arkham Asylum in 2009. I didn't know anything about him. So when and obviously in Arkham Asylum, when we do like the character bios, they're all in the comic style and everything. So it doesn't look so threatening. I thought, oh my God, a guy who themes his crimes after calendars. How terrifying. And then Arkham City came out, and that trailer Storyteller came out, and, well, that's terrifying, and I'm really happy that no crime shows have inspired anything about this guy. Thankfully. Hopefully. I'm looking at you. Please don't do anything with this character. But yeah, for as cool as he is and a great idea, we don't really get him a lot in the games. Like, aside from Riddler's riddles and everything, and a slight thing for the trophy and City, and him being released in Arkham Origins, we don't really get anything from him. And I've already talked about stuff like that in my top 13 missed opportunity missions, so go watch that if you're interested. It's from a couple of years ago. But yeah, Calendar Man, great, but pretty bland. Speaking of bland, great boss fight. Really great boss fight. Definitely gave us something to look forward to in Arkham City. And now that I think about it, yeah, technically first boss fight of the game. Where Bane built us up from the start. Solomon Grundy gave us an upgraded version of that kind of boss fight for Arkham City, showing that it's not going to be just dodge and then damage, then dodge, then damage, although it is. But Grundy gave us great, really great battle in the Iceberg Lounge arena area. Having to kill the unkillable was actually pretty badass. A badass moment that they gave us. Story-wise, it was more just because Penguin didn't want to fight us himself until, we thought that quick little thing in the end of the boss fight, but nonetheless, great boss fight, but again, lower on the list because design-wise, he's fantastic, but overall, story-wise, he's just a one-and-done kind of deal. And we're not talking about the Blackgate fight because, let's be honest, that game is only there just for, I don't even know. Very rarely will Arkham Origins characters be on here for being the worst of the bunch when it comes to certain characters. But Lady Shiva, you are literally in the League of Assassins. What the fuck are you doing here other than testing Batman's morality? Seriously, that's what she is. That's literally what she is. We locate two people that we find, and she wants us to let them die because they're terrible people, but we save them, and then we get a boss fight with her, and they rehash the thing that they do with Deathstroke, where they give us a trophy if we beat her flawlessly while countering all her attacks. Seriously, you did it once in one game. You don't need to do it for another boss fight. And again, Shiva, aside from looking great and kind of almost building her up, in the beginning of Origins, very bland, very, very bland, nothing really great. That's all I gotta say. Coming off of that, though, the DLC of Origins gave us, again, one of the best DLC stories in Arkham. I mean, I'm not going to say Season of Infamy isn't fantastic, but Cold Heart gave us a great villain. And again, if you know the Batman lore, then you're not going to be surprised that Ferris Boyle is the villain. Yeah, GothCorp, the People's Company, where you blackmailed a guy trying to save his dying wife into creating cryoweapons for you, but when he refused to continue, you decided to kidnap his wife and cause the accident that made him Mr. Freeze. Okay, seriously, is there a dumb ass meter for corporate executives in Gotham? Because I'm pretty sure he's high on that list. Boyle. Again, if you're not a Batman fan and you're playing the game and you're not fully understanding, oh boy, reveals aplenty, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, Ferris Boyle, and especially at the end of Cold Heart, when it's fully revealed, and then after the Freeze boss fight, we get a great, amazing moment at the end of the DLC where we finally give this douchebag a good bat punch. Take a seat, humanitarian. He's no Kevin Conroy, but Roger Craig Smith, the voice of Arkham Origins Bruce. Top tier comebacks. Top tier. Okay, are we almost done with the bad parts of the list? Okay, good. We're almost done them. But to continue that, help me understand this. Messenger of the Dark Knight's death and destruction, combat scenario challenges, and a lackluster ending. Man, so many people thought he was going to be an OP boss for the next game. But we have Azrael, ladies and gentlemen. If he wasn't lame enough in Gotham, which he kind of was, and they kind of used him for something else, how did you go from being a looming threat to being a protege in the making? And how do you scan somebody's brain during that and find secret manipulative messages and everything? No. And then also having the choice between breaking the sword and becoming your own person or attacking the knight and getting locked up, which is the better option. Like, what in Batman makes you think decision making is a better option? Because technically we do it twice. Once for Azrael and Ra's al Ghul in the DLC. And it kind of amounts to nothing but stupidity. Azrael, you were so close. So goddamn close to being a great character on my list. But then, much like others, Arkham Knight kind of brought you down. I'm not hating on Arkham Knight in the slightest. But it does have a tendency to kind of make new villains fantastic and make previous villains lackluster. Yeah. Which is shocking because the next entry on this list is a character that has so much presence, had a bit of build-up, amounted to nothing, but gave some of the best moments in the game. I am talking about the comically underrated Lester Baczynski, a.k.a. the Electrocutioner. If I thought, okay, I haven't really gotten there yet because I'm not playing it for a good while. I'm starting another game series right now. That's one I've never played before. But if the Alice Madness Returns giant robot gotcha moment wasn't big enough, the Electrocutioner's boss fight in Arkham Origins is definitely the biggest what moment in video game history. I don't know who at DC and W Games Montreal, I don't know who there decided to give us a fake out boss fight here, but I'm so happy that you did, because it was so comical. And then you made him a bigger part of the story without him being a threat, from tracking down his electrical current gloves to track down the Joker's meeting with the assassins, to using said gloves to literally beat the shit out of more bosses and enemies, to then giving us reason to jumpstart Alfred's beating heart, and also giving us a way of killing Bane, letting the Joker think he won, and then bringing him back to life. Seriously, the Electrocutioner may have been a gag villain and not a pretty good one, but he definitely gave us great moments during the Arkham Origins. Saving Alfred, saving Bane, tricking the Joker, giving us a lot of brute force for our fighting. Again, he may have been a joke, but at least he gave us some great moments, like all jokes should. Yeah, if Rocksteady can be a dick to us in Arkham Knight, why can't I? Man-Bat was literally the one of the few moments in Arkham Knight where I actually jumped out of my, almost off the couch and threw my controller up in the air. Because, again, I didn't watch the game when I first got Arkham Knight, because I didn't want to be spoiled. And I'm kind of hoping that I wish I did, because fuck Man-Bat. I will not lie, though. Great side mission and great use of a Batman villain that was used in both animated series, in the animated series and 2003's The Batman, and done in two different ways, and I do love that. And making it kind of horror-ish, kind of like those really bad, cheesy horror movies where an experiment goes wrong and the doctor becomes the monster. Really, really good use of that. I'm not going to lie. It was a really, really good use. And plus, side mission-wise, having to actually locate him flying throughout the sky, and also kind of being terrified of the design. Like, look at this fucking thing. It's terrifying. It's great. And realizing that aside from his wife, Man-Bat never actually hurt anyone. He just wanted to cure his hearing loss. And also, if you play the game on Halloween, go back to the GCPD. Well, start zipping a little bit, and Man-Bat will appear again. He will have gotten out, and then if you go back to his lair, the laboratory, you will find out my love is written in blood, and the wife's body is missing. Wished I understood what that meant and everything, but, all that stuff. I wish there was more. But as much as I do love him, it's not that I use that much. It's a small side mission. Find him, drain some blood, create the cure, find out what happened, find him twice, give him the cure twice, and then bring him back to the GCPD. I mean, say what you will about it. It's millions of times better than what Gotham Knights gave us. Ugh. Looks like a bat at a furry convention. Hey, Sharpie. Love what you done with the place. Quincy Sharp, the warden of Arkham Asylum, turned mayor of Gotham City. Yeah, this isn't fucked at all. If you were due diligent enough and finding all the Spirit of Arkham Chronicles, there is one set that, I mean, unless you're dumb and you don't listen to the voice, once you complete the second to last one, it shows in the bio that these messages can't just be from Amadeus Arkham himself. The person who's been committing murders in Arkham Asylum is someone who works on the island still. I need to find them and confront them. And then we go back to where we left the warden, and he scrolled out a message, Batman in his own blood, saying that he is the spirit of Amadeus Arkham. Ironically, his Quincy Sharp has had split personality, thinking he's the spirit of Amadeus Arkham and wants to cleanse the city of its sickness, aka the criminally deranged, by taking some of the inmates and killing them. He mentions Poison Ivy, he mentions Scarecrow, he mentions Joker and Harley. And then he's manipulated in the city by Strange to gain access to Arkham City and all that months prior. I still need to read that Arkham Knight prequel novel, Riddler's Gambit. I think that's what it's called. And then it turns out in one of the riddles for Arkham Knight that he had delusions of his former master. And, yeah, it's kind of sad. It's, God damn it. What I like about Quincy Sharp is that he's a villain in the sake that he's not a villain. He's more of a delusional villain that people see as a good character, as a regular character. But I love how Arkham Asylum, the very first game, gave us so much depth to a character like this. And I do love that. But as far as villains go, he has nothing compared to a lot of the other Rogues Gallery. Talking about a character who supposedly got plenty of spotlight, but got the rug swept from under him, I'm talking about Black Mask. I mean, you can see him in Arkham City at the beginning being electrocuted by guards and everything, but he's never really used after that. And then in Arkham Knight, he's used in a DLC for Red Hood where we kill him. Jesus Christ, can this guy not catch a break? Because he was built up big time in Arkham Origins, in the original trailer. It was so amazing. And then they had to make Joker the star somehow, so we got that. And then Black Mask became the watered down version of the Bane mission in Arkham City. And then we get a small boss fight with Black Mask, and bada bing, bada boom. God damn it. I kind of wish if a future Arkham Origins sequel is done, we get a little bit more with him. Maybe the mask finally seared on his face. Speaking of faces, Two-Face. Troy Baker, once again, giving a great performance. A really, 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 really good performance. Arkham City, they did Harv right. They got the beautiful split suit. They did the scar all over it. They got the voice down. They got the personality down. Taken out near the beginning of Arkham City. Not that great. Then became Catwoman's villain in the DLC chapter of the story. And then in Arkham Knight, we're robbing banks. I will admit, though, okay, I lied. 2 entries that we're going to be talking about Shadows quickly. Giving Harvey the big role in Arkham Shadows, I see you. Great, really, really well done. Gave a lot of in-depth of Harvey and Bruce's friendship and everything. doing it really well, just like in the Telltale games. If you haven't played that, go do it. And for the love of God, I'm just going to say this. Always save Selina. That way we always get the right Two-Face, because having him with his full face and split personality kind of feels anticlimactic. But yeah, given a lot of great structure for Two-Face and Shadows, giving us the great scene of Two-Face's scarring, and it actually makes sense. Very, very good. Again, Two-Face is a great villain, and Arkham definitely did him really justice, surprisingly. A character that they did not do all the way fantastic was given a great first outing, but then kind of a joke. Nope, this is the first one. Deathstroke, ladies and gentlemen. Great first outing in Arkham Origins. That boss fight is one of the best combat-based boss battles in gaming, and I defy anyone to say otherwise. Maybe I'll do a combat boss fight list one day, and Deathstroke will be on there. Like, and for the first time in years, when I replayed it for a Kevin Conroy tribute. Okay, yeah, he wasn't in it, but still Arkham. I don't care. I finally did counter, where I had to perfectly dodge all of his attacks. And I kept a timer for how many times I restarted the boss fight. About 50 times before I did it perfectly. Such a great adversary. One of the few times Batman fought someone on his equal level, if not more, at the time of his career. But then they brought him back in Arkham Knight and dwindled him down to a superior tank boss and taking him out with one hit. What were you thinking? No, seriously, that's an actual question. Although to be fair, it was WB Games that gave us the Deathstroke boss fight and not Rocksteady. WB Games, if you guys are interested, please do the next Arkham Origins sequel. If you guys are doing it, please. I need more boss fights like this. Going back to Arkham Origins again, we have a side mission villain, Anarchy. Basically, take out enemies, defuse bombs. And I did like Anarchy. A kid who was sick and tired of the establishment and wanted to raise some chaos. Again, pretty good information, pretty good usage of another not so well known character. They bring him up in Arkham Knight, though, even having his mask and his coat in the evidence locker, but we don't do anything with him. Seriously, that was the one thing I didn't like about Arkham Knight, is how they talked about certain villains like the Great White Shark, Ventriloquist, Anarchy, and did nothing with them. Arkham Origins sequel, this is your time to shine and bring these characters to life. But yeah, great character, not that great. Side mission, nothing that fantastic. Talking about a villain that is so over the top, but something I actually loved. Okay, yeah, design-wise, kind of creepy, but I love that. Professor Pig. My God, Arkham Knight went really, really dark and shit, didn't he? Leaving victims that were imperfect for his purposes, identifying them via very different disabilities like scars, tattoos, issues. And I do like that all the people that we use, like we're using the imagery thing, are, I think, Rocksteady employees. I think they use that, which, not going to lie, was kind of cool. Boss fight with him, fighting his Dollatrons, are creepy as goddamn. And fighting him isn't really that difficult. It's just counter him and do the environmental takedown. And you know what? The less I talk about this character, I think the better we'll all be. So, Pig, great character, again, a great unknown character in the Arkham, in the Batman series, given a dark twist, and rightfully so. Because if you watched Gotham and then you watched Beware the Batman, this one definitely pretty much takes the cake. Finally, I'm talking about a character who I love in the Arkham series. Although we only got one boss fight with her, and then she's pretty much non-existent throughout the rest of the series. Poison Ivy, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, yeah. Cosplay-wise, everyone loves her. Game-wise, hit or miss. Boss fight was fantastic. Her role in Arkham Asylum basically amounts to, Joker wanted to test out his serum, and yeah. Thanks, Joker. Thank you for that. Although it was pretty cool seeing the overgrown plants all over the island, not gonna lie. And got rid of those psychos for us. But also, she's Catwoman DLC for Arkham City. Batman can't even get to her. Voice is getting dry. And then she's the first lock up for Arkham Knight. Becomes very integral into the main plot later in the middle. And then the whole scene that we all know and love. Well, not love, about her sacrificing herself. Not gonna lie. Poison Ivy did a great job of being a great character for the Arkham series. Definitely became a great character at the end of the series. And we will not discuss what they did with her in that god-awful game that, unless I'm talking about a bad list, I'm never bringing up on my channel. Because if it does, I will get a hedge trimmer and remove a disgusting weed. Well, talked about him already. Great. Bad boss fight in Arkham City. Pretty okay boss fight in Arkham Origins. Didn't appear in Arkham Knight for some goddamn reason. Great character. Floyd Lawton, dead shot, dead bang, quick, done. Okay. He's got a great design. Okay. Overall, like his design better in Arkham City. Love his little side mission, and I like that it's longer than what we got in Arkham Origins. Because it was like a one-time thing, and we find him quickly, which was kind of boring. Thought he would make it more cat and mouse-ish, like they did in City. But, ironically, again, Origins fight was a lot better, because there were hostages involved. City was just meh. So, yeah, quick, dead bang, on to the next one. I thought we were done with the creepy ones. Nope. Victor Zsasz. Tell me he didn't creep you out at all during their first walkthrough of each game. Yeah. Once again, knowing only about Batman through the animated series and The Batman, I didn't really know about the twisted, psychotic versions of Batman's gallery of rogues. And Victor Zsasz is definitely one of them. Fuck. 2 outings in Asylum, easy takedown. Arkham City, pretty good side mission, finding his lair. And I do like that there is a riddle in there. And then also, you know, finding the hostages and that creepy little lair without him seeing us. Man, a lot of times City makes us sneaking around not being seen. He could have been an Arkham Knight. In fact, in the mission where you're going through the surveillance video to find Barbara, and he's right there, Batman says, Victor Zsasz, once I'm done with this, I'll lock him up. But we don't. That could have been a great little Easter egg that led us into a future mission in the game. But no, you didn't do that. So, not only was Calendar Man on the loose, but also Zsasz, and Arkham Knight did nothing with that. I mean, I know Black Mask and Prometheus were supposed to be added for the DLC, and they cut it. But instead of doing all those one-off prequel and sequel missions, you couldn't have given us 2 more villains like Zsasz and Calendar Man for a DLC? Really? There are just times when I just think you guys just didn't do stuff just to do stuff. But yeah, Zsasz, great character, great design, creepy design, gives me the freaks every fucking time I replay the games. But yeah, let's move on. Why do I keep saying it? Great outing in City, terrible outing in Night. One of the only times Conroy got to voice a character that wasn't Batman, and you do him fucking dirty in the final game. Hush. Amazing finding him, and actually good foreshadowing him by the end of the game inside the church. Not bad, guys. But then again, fucking wasted it in Arkham Knight. Wanting to destroy the Wayne name, but didn't do so until this big night. Could have had a side mission where a bunch of goons were hired to attack properties and keep hostages where buildings of Wayne Enterprise. Could have done that and given us time to figure out who's trying to do this to you and destroy your name. And then we got the whole thing with Wayne Tower, but I guess you guys wanted to do more landmine missions and clearing Gotham's city, the roads, the envoys. Seriously, what the fuck? That's 2 characters that you managed to waste their potential in Night. Are we going to go for more? Hopefully not. Finally, a villain that's in all 4 games one way or another. And honestly, still gives me creeps. Steve Bloom, how do you bring that creepy voice to being such a great character? Tick tock, time to feed the killer Croc. Fucking hated Croc Slayer in Arkham Asylum. I will forever hate it. Because I don't do well with creepy scenes and jump scares. I don't do them. That's why I don't play scary games. Then Easter egg DLC. Well, not DLC. Easter egg in Arkham City. First boss fight in Arkham Origins, where he's old design is actually pretty good, and it kind of shows how he evolved further into what the Killer Croc that we know and love now. Great design throughout the games, from going from like a normal man, muscular croc freak, to being full animalistic, to evolving even more in the DLC of Arkham Knight. Killer Croc, main focus in 2 games, Easter egg in 1, and then a DLC, great full boss fight in the final. All 4 outings, fantastic. Just wish he was a little bit utilized more in City if possible, but I get why they didn't. So, pretty good. What's a madman without a mad woman to love him? Harley dear. Oh, everyone's favorite clown princess of crime. Amazing outing in pretty much every game she was in. Origins, not so much, because... yeah, not so much. She actually made a pretty good impression in Arkham Shadows, I'm not going to lie. But her iterations in all the 3 main games, fantastic. From starting off with the amazing and classic Arlene Sorkin from the animated series, Puddin', you gave us one of the best games ever and one of the greatest performances. And then Tara Strong taking over for the rest. Again, doing an impeccable job as Harley. We love ya. And all 3 of them, she has a good role in main story instead of, being a sidestep. Arkham Asylum, she's basically running over the asylum, creating chaos in that absolutely sexy nurse outfit. Really, really well done. And then in Arkham City, we get her this badass biker girlfriend look because it's a gang war. Love it. And then in Arkham Knight, we get this kind of cop kind of looking outfit with the skirt and the white sleeves. They definitely did a good job of giving Harley a different iteration for each game, and it works phenomenal. Harley, you had a great outing in every single game. It's just kind of funny how we only see you, how each time you get locked up in the penitentiary, tied up and gagged by Talia, and then locked up in our own cells. I'm sensing a pattern here with Harley. Oh, and also the grieving girlfriend look in the DLC for Harley Quinn's Revenge. Not the best DLC ever, but definitely something that adds more to the story.